1916. A man sits in a prison cell, convicted of treason, sentenced to die. His lawyers have one last argument, not about innocence, not about mercy, about a comma. He was hanged anyway, but that comma changed legal history forever. This is the story of when punctuation becomes a matter of life, death, and millions of dollars. Meet Sir Roger Casement, British diplomat, human rights hero, knighted by the King, and in 1916, accused of treason for helping Ireland's Easter Rising. Here's the problem. Casement did everything in Germany. He smuggled weapons, recruited prisoners to fight the British. But the Treason Act of 1351 only covered treason committed in the realm, meaning on British soil. His lawyers saw it immediately. Casement wasn't in Britain, he was in Germany. Case closed, right? Not so fast. The prosecution had a brilliant, terrifying idea. What if we just add a comma? The law was written in Norman French 565 years earlier, before punctuation was even standardized. They argued it should read, helping the king's enemies, in the realm or elsewhere. One comma, that's it. A tiny pause that didn't exist for 5 centuries suddenly appears and boom, now treason applies anywhere on earth. During the appeal, lawyers literally debated whether a mark on the ancient parchment was a comma, a bracket, or just a fold in the paper from centuries of storage. Imagine your life depending on whether someone creased a document correctly in 1351. The court decided, we're adding the comma. Casement himself wrote from his prison cell, "I am to be hanged on a comma," and on August 3, 1916, he was executed. English teachers everywhere, finally vindicated. Casement dead. But the story doesn't end there. Fast forward to 2006, Canada. A company called Rogers Communications signs a contract to use utility poles. Simple deal, $9.60 per pole for 5 years, locked in. The contract said, this agreement shall continue in force for a period of 5 years and thereafter for successive 5-year terms, unless and until terminated by 1 year prior notice. Notice that second comma? The one after successive 5-year terms? Rogers didn't, but their competitor Bell Alliant sure did. Bell Alliant argued, that comma means we can cancel any time with 1 year's notice, even during the first 5 years. Rogers was shocked. We'd never sign a deal that could be canceled that easily. Canadian regulators looked at the grammar rules and sided with Bell Alliant. The cost to Rogers? $2.13 million over 1 comma. Rogers' lawyers literally said, but we didn't mean it that way. The court's response? Cool story, pay up. In desperation, Rogers spent 2 months hunting down a French version of the contract. Because Canada is bilingual, maybe the French punctuation would save them. And you know what? It did. The French version made their interpretation crystal clear. The regulators reversed their decision, but by then Rogers had spent a fortune on lawyers. Today, this case is taught in law schools as the $1 million comma. Wait, there's more. 2017, Maine. Dairy truck drivers sue their employer for overtime pay they never received. The state's overtime law said drivers don't get overtime for packing for shipment or distribution of products. The question, does that mean packing for shipment or distribution as 2 separate things? Or packing for shipment or distribution as one combined thing? An Oxford comma after shipment would have made it crystal clear, but Maine's official style guide specifically bans the Oxford comma. The court sided with the drivers. $5 million settlement, all because of a missing comma. The internet's Oxford comma defenders lost their minds. We've been saying this for years. So here's the pattern. Grammar isn't just rules your English teacher made up. Grammar is power. Every contract you've signed, your phone plan, your apartment lease, your credit card, was written by lawyers who spent months debating every comma, every semicolon, every loophole. They know what those commas mean. You don't. And that's not an accident. Roger Casement died because a court added a comma that didn't exist for 565 years. But the companies writing your contracts, they're adding commas that do exist, counting on you not to notice. Here's the irony. We live in an age where people text your instead of your, and nobody cares. Grammar Nazis get mocked online, but in court, in contracts, grammar is the only thing that matters. Think about it. Casement was a human rights hero. He exposed atrocities in the Congo and Peru, got knighted for it, and the British government still executed him over punctuation. If they'll do that to a knight, what do you think they'll do to you over a credit card agreement? Grammar isn't about being pedantic. It's about who gets to decide what words mean when millions of dollars or your life is on the line. Casement wrote from prison, "I am to be hanged on a comma." He meant it as a tragedy. But maybe it's also a warning. Every "I agree" button you click is a grammatical minefield, written by people who know exactly what every comma does. The revenge of the English teachers is real. They tried to warn us about commas and semicolons. We didn't listen. And now people are losing millions, or worse. Want more stories where today's headlines become tomorrow's history? That's what we do at BikaHistory. The comma that killed a man, the detergent that became currency, the psychology hiding in your salary negotiation. Today's story, tomorrow's history. Because sometimes the most important moments in history aren't in textbooks. They're hiding in a comma you didn't notice.